So, do not fear fear. Instead, learn to court its finer qualities. How do you do that? That was a question, no prize. How do you conquer fear? Well, you start small by small. They say, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. And so, if you want to conquer fear, you take the first step, right? Little by little. Fear a little bit less until you become fearless. So you have to practice that muscle. That thing which you're afraid of is the thing that you should court. It's the thing that you should work on. It's the thing that signals your destiny. Have faith. You're powered by purpose, passion, and providence. I was going to turn this into the 3 Ps, but I was like, that sounds like public-private partnership, yeah. And that will take your minds down a different direction. And like all management consultants, I decided to call, make it, the 4 Ps, which is each of you, you're powered by your sense of purpose, your sense of passion, and the sense of providence. Believe it. It's true. Be courageous. But what is courage? Another question you failed to answer, and no prize. Anyone? Courage? Okay. Courage is the ability to do something that frightens you. People confuse bravery and courage. Bravery is generally something that happens within the context of a battlefield. Courage is something that generally happens within your heart. So, I have a few quotes because I stand on the shoulders of people who are more knowledgeable, more gifted, and more spiritual than I am. So, I found some things to share with you. Can a man still be brave if he is afraid? Yes. It's the only time a man can be brave. There is no bravery without fear. It's an important aspect of understanding what fear is. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Courage is the most important of all virtues, because without courage, you can't practice any of the other virtues. Okay? You cannot swim for new horizons until you have the courage to lose sight of the shores. If you continue to think about the opinion of others, you will not leave the shores. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, not absence of fear. Court fear. However, I have my favorites. Those are not my favorites. My favorites are, what will life be if we had no courage to attempt anything? Certainly none of us will be here. I will not be on this stage. All the richness of the inventions of humanity, all the gifts of wonderful filmmakers, all the notion of spirituality, all the stuff that ground us in this planet will not be around. If you permit me, I was meant to do something before I started, and it's just come to me. Where are the DW angels? There you are. There you are. Okay, shout out. For the rest of you, the DW angels, to my understanding, are a bunch of people who are being mentored by a particular individual. And I think the art of mentorship is also an important one. But, pick your mentors, It takes courage to grow up and become who you really are. Who you are is what matters, not the opinion of others or who I want you to be. Everyone has talent. What's rare is the courage to follow it to the dark places where it leads. The dark places are the places where you have self-doubt, the places where you start to think, I can't do this. But those are the things that you must surmount, and those are the things that help you get where you're going. And generally speaking, in this notion of getting where you're going, in this notion of fighting what you've been educated and pre-programmed by virtue of your education and what you want to achieve as you, there are two ways of thinking, which may help. There is the planning framework, and then there's a framework of manifestation. The first one you are all aware of. Input leads to output. No risk without reward. Plan for action. These are all economic frameworks. They tell you that you have to build on your strengths. Building on your strengths leads to performance in a world that is rapidly disappearing. Okay? Some of my photographs which were shown earlier, the reason I did that project, it was called Icons of a Metropolis. I tried to find 20 archetypal characters of Lagos. And one of the things that I was very interested in too was the things in Lagos which were disappearing. So one of the icons was the Moluwe, the king of the road. Can't see it anymore. In those days, when I took the photographs, many of them were taken at Bar Beach. There was the Aladuras, the prayer warriors. Can't see them anymore. A lot of stuff is rapidly disappearing, including the jobs that you think you're going to get. So the other model of thinking, the manifestation model, is give to receive. Learn to gift. Surrender to gain. Learn to let go of your ego, your sense of self-importance. Conquer desire to gain what you want through the practice of spirituality. Gain fulfillment by forgiving yourself. To find yourself, you have to be willing to lose yourself, who you think you are today. It's not who you will be tomorrow. Build on your vulnerabilities, on your weakness. This leads to character and to that fantastic word we often use, breakthrough. Some myths you need to shatter that don't help. No prizes for completing this one. If you can't beat them, what do you say? Distinguish yourself, you get a prize. You get a prize. So there's so everyone here knows what a paradox is, yes? I'll come to it in a bit. But there's this notion of paradoxical thinking, which is very important, and it's something that you must learn to understand. So let's look at that first myth. If you can't beat them, join them. Why shouldn't you join them? If you join them, are you going to beat them? What game are you playing? If you're not writing your own rules, you're playing someone else's game. You're writing somebody else's story. write your own story. So that's the first myth. When someone says to you, if you can't beat them, join them, they're asking you to compromise, they're asking you to let go of yourself, they're asking you to let go of your destiny, they're asking you to let go of your gift, they're asking you, I was going to use another word, but I wouldn't, they're asking you to let go of what God has given you. The second myth, which roughly I touched on at the beginning, is the myth of when I grow up, I want to be like. You need to understand this. There will be no other Muhammad Ali. There will be no other Steve Jobs. There will be no other Gandhi. There will be no other Nelson Mandela. But there will be the first you. Okay? You is what is important. Own your legacy. Do you, be you, write your own story. Create from inside out, from within, and not from the outside. If you do this, you will learn the fine art of, oh, I'm a bit behind. What happened to my pictures? My pictures are missing. Doesn't matter. So the picture of transformation is meant to show a beautiful chameleon. You will learn the fine art of transformation. Does anyone know what transformation is? Nope. I know you know it, you're just being shy. And none of you want another prize or gift. It's okay. So, learning the art of transformation. Transformation is a very, very interesting word. And often you hear it in other guises. When you transform things, it's called manufacturing. When you transform ideas, it's called creativity or invention. When you transform people, it's called leadership. When you transform thought, it's called innovation. When you transform yourself, it is called enlightenment. So, learn the fine art of transformation. If you learn this, you will be remarkable, worthy of being or likely to be noticed, especially as being uncommon or extraordinary. How can you not be extraordinary if you bring forth the gift that you've been given by your Creator? So it's important to understand the way ideas are created, implemented, and spread. In the old days, you know, we had the factory model, which was you created stuff cheaper, faster, and better. But machines have driven out most human beings from the pool of labor, and that will continue. Machines are also driving out most human beings from the notion of standardization because we're very unpredictable. So a bunch of clever people are writing stuff that is repeatable and will not change. And then in the Second World War, about, post 1945 anyway, we entered this media model, the notion of advertising, mass marketing. That's how we spread ideas. You bought advertising space, right? You wanted to do something, speak to people. You bought a billboard, you bought radio ads, you bought TV, and you communicated your message. But it's called mass marketing, right? And everyone knows what mass is in the non-chemical way. Mass is average. Okay, so you end up making average propositions to average people, nothing remarkable, nothing distinct. However, we've entered a new world, right? And the new world that we're in is distributed, fragmented, and interconnected. And what will make you remarkable in this world is the notion of leadership. Because the way we do change has changed. Okay? And you need to